Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you watched our last video, we've got a barn dominium in a house at Barren River Lake that we're going to be following along. But today we're going to depart from that just a little bit and look at something that we just kind of got wrapped up. And I say just kind of got wrapped up, even though 2020 and 21 were fantastic years, they were a little trying, if you know what I mean, with COVID and everything. So we've still got a few odd and ends that we've got to finish at this house that even will take on into spring to get done. But the house over here on my left is one that we just got pretty well wrapped up. The ladies moved in there. And over to my right is one that you can see too that we built about 5 years ago for her daughter and son-in-law. So let's go on and head up to the house and take a look around. All right, so we're up on the porch and just want to talk about a couple of things that we do that may not be like everybody else, and that's fine. I'm sure that some people may have some comment and stuff on it. But we do it this way just from learning in the past some problems that we've had and so forth and how to not do those again. So one big thing that I'm really keen on is not using cultured or stick-on stone on the exterior of a project. I just don't feel like it's a good product to not wind up having a moisture issue down the road. So everything you see on this house, this is real full thickness cut stone right out of the ground. It's laid up just like brick. And if we were to go around and look a little bit closer, we still use brick weeps, just like you would see on a commercial job, a little bit different. These columns also, the way that we like to do this, a lot of people want to do these brick or stone bases. And always, when we start talking about price on them, people get turned off really quickly. They are not inexpensive, but we do them a little bit different than what is at least the going fad in this area. And I've learned through the years that different parts of the country do different things, do things differently. And not necessarily that it's right or wrong, but the kind of the thing that's going on right here now, most people are running this post or column all the way down to the foundation, to the slab level. And then they're coming back and just doing a stick-on stone or doing some sort of veneer around it. The problem is that they can never seal water out from going down the post and all the way down to the bottom. And then at the bottom, that post, and particularly with these wood posts, these are cedar columns here, they just sit in moisture for however long and they just start to rot out. And we know that this happens from doing some repair work on some other jobs and having seen it. So it is a fact that it happens. And I'm not saying that it can never be sealed properly or that something can't be done, but no matter, you depend on another thing there. And so our columns, when we do this, the way we want to do it, is that we've laid concrete block and then we've gone around it with the stone. We've core filled it and put the stone cap on it. Again, this is cut limestone. This is the real deal too. And that way our post, our column, is bearing all the way back down on solid material. And again, one of the things that we learned several years ago when we built some columns like this, they didn't do a good job filling underneath them, and we had a couple of the caps crack. So we wound up having to go back, take all those off, and mortar these things back up and get them solid. So we try to learn from our mistakes, and that was one of them that we made. The other thing is that, in particular, these wood posts are really notorious about pulling moisture up from whatever they're sitting on. So when we sit them on a slab, and again, we've made this mistake, they suck just a gross amount of water up. And so we figured out that we've got to do something about that. So we use a Simpson plate that Josh will be able to show you here in a minute, but these posts aren't actually sitting all the way down on the cap. They're sitting up about 1.25 inches on that Simpson anchor plate. And that way the water can just go underneath them, and it's actually the bottom of the post is never sitting in water. We trim it out with 1x6 or 1x8, and you can see we hold that up just a little bit above the surface as well, just so that we don't get that wicking effect in that either. So another little detail that we've used quite a bit, we've used it on the house next door and on dozens of times. We really like these rain chains. They make different ones, but it's a really, really pretty sight when the rain is coming down them. This is actually the downspout. This serves as a downspout. I had a customer back in about 2007 that wanted these, and I'd never heard of them. And like I say, since we've used them a bunch, but it's really neat in these places where we need a downspout. And our only other option would be coming down out of the gutter, attaching to this nice post, kicking back out, and it just winds up with all these other bends and kinks in the gutter, in the downspout that just look ugly, and you spend a lot of money on your column and your post just to put a big downspout on it. So these guys serve the purpose. Believe it or not, the rain follows them down extremely well. In a really blowing rain, Some of the rain blows off of them, but you're still good. And we have really had a lot of success with these, and we don't necessarily use them all the way around the house. We didn't here. Still got downspouts in places where they could just be attached to the house. But in these spots, these rain chains are just a super option. The other thing is that a lot of our customers want something besides plain concrete, and such is the case here. She wound up going with pavers, and we have done some decorative concrete work in the past. I tell people though, there's two types of concrete: concrete that has cracked and concrete that will crack. And so it's just very disappointing after somebody spent a lot of money on concrete for it to crack. That's the beauty of these pavers. We love the pavers. If there's a problem down the road, we can pull a few pavers up, fix them, and put them back down. And so we're a huge fan of that. But they're all the exterior paved areas, the rear patios, pool area, everything is pavers. And we'll be out there in a few minutes, but let's go inside and take a look around. Hey, so standing inside the house, this is Becky. She's the homeowner. And just talk to her a little bit about this process. So normally, we wind up drawing people's house plans, and in this case, you had a house plan already that you brought to us, right?
I did, but you made a lot of modifications for me.
And so we work through that with people. It's just a good process to try to figure out exactly what you want in your design and things that you'd like. And so we're going to kind of show a few things throughout the house. And what did you think about the overall experience?
I knew from day one that if I was going to build a house, it was going to be you, because of the experience that we had had when you built our daughter's house next door.
I didn't pay for that.
No. Do we need to edit that?
Oh no, we can just use all this right in the video. It doesn't matter if it's a little
Well,
fun.
I mean, listen, it's the truth though. It's the truth. Okay.
See, totally unsolicited.
Yeah.
But so I want to show a few of the things that we did, that we worked together on. There's a screen door we'll show in a second over here in the pantry that she had wanted from day one. My wife and I have a store that we run, and some other friends that come across things like that. We found that, and I gave her a call and said, hey, I found this screen door that maybe will work, and we picked it up and we made it work, right?
Absolutely, it's perfect.
There's even some really cool things in here we'll show too that she brought with her from her last house. Her toilet paper holders, as crazy as that sounds, they're just really neat. And I like to show a few of those things. So on the inside of houses, I know I talked about not using synthetic stick-on type stone on the exterior, but on the inside we do. This fireplace is a cultured stone fireplace. It's just the stick-on style stone. We've got it, a live edge mantle. There's a guy here in Bowling Green we're able to get things like this from, so very neat. If you look up, we've got Western cedar beams in the ceiling. These are solid beams, not box beams. And then behind me over here, we've got kind of a focal point of this room. Got a shiplap wall. And then the cabinets in this house, Creative Wood in Russellville does most all of our cabinets for us. And they certainly didn't disappoint on this house. They did the kitchen, utility room, master closet, all the bathrooms, pantry. And so we'll try to show you a few of those things as we go through. Hey, so we're out back behind the house now. Just gonna kind of show some of the things out here again. Pavers on all the patios, cedar posts up on the ceilings. We've got tongue and groove pine ceilings on all the porches. The carport's the same way. In 20 plus years of building, I'd never built a carport, but she wanted a carport. We've got a carport. When this project started, it originally was going to have a separate pool house, and as we went on through design, we ended up, instead of doing this separate pool house, we just wound up at the end of the carport building this space on. It's got a large storage room in it where she can lock some things up, and then also a half bath and a small room here where she's got a refrigerator and just a place to keep things for the pool. So even though it's not the totally separated, detached pool house that we started with, it still gives them that space. Got the small patio there in front of it where they can go out there and hang out. Let's go on out by the pool and take a look at some things. Hey, so we're out behind the house now, and this was an area that we spent a lot of time working on and really kind of drug on through the process, just trying to get things right, get materials ordered. You know, again, this has been a really good year for us as far as business goes, but it's been a difficult year in getting things and getting supplies. So we did a fire pit, and I would highly recommend to anybody that does one of these, we'll show you in just a second, but we've got a gas log starter in the bottom of it. All of them we've ever done that I can think of, we put that in. It's just a super cool way to be able to go out and get your fire going really quickly without a bunch of kindling or newspaper or something like that in it. You can start it up with the propane, shut it off once you get it going, you've got your fire running. So again, real stone benches supplied by Allie Cassidy here in Bowling Green. And we wound up with a couple of step caps left over. And the guys with Cowan Masonry that did all this exterior masonry work from the pavers to the benches and everything, they came up with the idea to use some leftover stone, and we built like a little table over there. So that was all just actually leftover material that we wound up using up. We've got all the outdoor lighting, the post lights and stuff. Again, here's one of the things that we're missing is about 30 feet of fence that we came up short. And we made some adjustments to the fence layout back here, and it just threw us off in our count. So we're waiting on that. Retaining wall over here. The way the house is built back into this hill, we had to build a retaining wall to take care of that and just continue around the pool area. So I think it's all really turned out really great. The guys at Alvaton Nursery did a fantastic job getting everything landscaped in, and you know that really just kind of finishes everything off and makes it look great. The cross, she'd had a cross similar to that at her house in Georgia, and she wanted one here, so we were able to. That came out of a barn that we tore down a few years ago. The lumber for it, we got those posts out, made her cross, got it put up, and so anyway, that's kind of the close of this. I appreciate you all watching. I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel and share this thing. Keep checking back. We're gonna have videos coming in the next few weeks, catching you up on where we're at with the lake house. There's gonna be actually a lot going on there tomorrow. Probably be a video out on that next week. And then we'll be back at the barn dominium. They're probably gonna pour concrete there here in the next couple of days. And so things there will be progressing along really quickly here in the next few weeks. So thanks for watching. Check out all the links and everything below, and we'll see you next time.